Hey, everybody. So, we're going to try something new. Normally, I do podcast series that are really long and take me forever to put together. And if you're listening, especially to that last series, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Uh, and I'm still going to keep doing that. But in the meantime, I wanted to have a little more interaction. The reason my podcast is called Conversations with Matt DeLockery is because well, that's my name. And I want to have conversations with you about difficult and important topics. And also, I want to help you have conversations with other people because ignoring problems gets us nowhere, at least nowhere good. So, we need to talk about difficult things, and that's not going to be easy. So, we're going to start doing that here. Because I'm the only one with a camera in front of me, we can't exactly have a for real conversation, but there is some ability to interact. There's a chat section if you're watching this that I want you to find. If you're on a desktop, look over on the right side of your screen and you should see it. If you're on mobile, look just to the right of the thumbs up and thumbs down buttons. You should see something that says live chat. Click that. Now you have to be signed in to use it, but if you type something in the chat, it will come up in the chat section and I, as well as everybody else, will see it. So if you want to say something inappropriate and you're fine with everybody else seeing that, then just go right ahead. If you don't and want to send it to me just personally, then just text me or something like that. The idea is that I want you to be able to ask questions, make comments, and yell at me like that. Thank you, Angie. So clearly this works. So if you have a question or a comment and I'm going along and saying something that you don't understand or you want to react to, then just say it. I can answer questions at the end, or we can do it along the way it goes, as we're doing it. This is my first video. I've never done a YouTube live before, so I'm not 100% sure exactly how this is going to work. So we're just going to have to figure it out, and it'll probably modify as time goes on. The plan is to start with some short conversations on a variety of topics. They're not going to be really long. They're going to start and they'll be, pretty short. But going forward, all topics are going to be on the table. We'll talk about anything. We're not going to dive into the super controversial stuff like right at the beginning. I think we need to get a little more comfortable with each other as well as with the format before we dive in there. But that's where I want to go. I want to make this a place where we can talk about all of the things that we need to talk about. For those of you who know me, I take a pretty academic look at things. I have a PhD, and I try to work through issues logically and rationally. A lot of the issues I'm going to cover are going to be religious because my PhD is in New Testament, but this isn't going to be anything like church. There's not going to be any prayer. There's not going to be praise and worship. Most Christian music sucks anyway. And for those of you who have had conversations with me on a religious topic, you know that I pretty much never take the standard view on anything, or at least not simply because it is a standard view. I go back to the beginning and try to figure things out from the ground up. So if you're an atheist or someone who belongs to another religion who wants to have conversations about difficult things and get to ask, why do Christians do, say, think, or whatever, all those crazy things, then you're going to like our conversations because we're going to talk about it. And the same thing goes for you Christians who want to, sort of like open Christianity up and take a look around inside. But if you're a Christian who wants me to pretty much just defend the way things are and say that, American Christianity is great, that's not going to happen. Because if something is true, then we should believe it and act on it. And if something we're doing doesn't match up to the truth, then we need to change what we're doing. And really, that's basically all I wanted to say for the first week. I just want to let you know this is what's happening. This is where I'm going. I wanted to test out to see if this thing is working. The chat's working because there's some comments. And if you have any questions, go ahead and type those now so I can answer them before we finish. I'm going to try to pull the audio off this and put it on my podcast. So if you're listening to this on podcast, then that worked. If you're not, then I'll figure something else out. And I'll try to repeat questions before I answer them so that you can if you don't see them, if you're on audio only, then you'll understand what I'm responding to. So the plan is to do this every week at 4 p.m. Eastern. So if this is sort of conversations that you want to have, then check it out next week. And if you haven't yet, be sure to click the subscribe button. And until then, I'll see you next week.